And we're going to begin now by looking at the nature of wanting things and where it comes from. Swedenborg makes the claim that all of our thoughts and feelings are attached to or affected by societies of spirits. And if that sounds weird, I have a warning for you. This gets weird. This is going to be, if this is your first time watching this show, it's going to be a pretty intense episode, and we're going to talk about things like spirits affecting thoughts and feelings. We're going to talk about evil spirits. But I wouldn't be too scared about it, because the way Swedenborg describes it, as I already said, spirits are always involved in everything. It's more like how there are always germs attacking your immune system or attacking your body, and your immune system is responding. This is a normal part of life, to have heaven and hell pressing in on either side. And yeah, this is a fasten your seatbelt kind of thing. And with that said, let's see if we can give you your money's worth and get this as weird as possible. And it was weird to Swedenborg too, when he began having these experiences and figuring out, this is what's behind what's going on in the heart and the mind. So let's see what we're talking about here. This is from his Journal of Spiritual Experiences, 2169. He says, everything whatever that exists in a person's mental life and feelings, evil as well as good, has spirits and societies of spirits who exactly interact with it. Just one such case was when I was taking pleasure in some unimportant details, either in regard to writing or eating or drinking or something else, like while buying things I had desired in times past and for which I had acquired a liking. So just normal everyday things for him. When those enjoyments recurred, there then were spirits and societies of spirits that had exactly the same enjoyment, so that they were much more desirous than I myself, even to the point that they could hardly control themselves without almost perishing, if they were not indulged and given those things, even though they knew they were of no use to them, but to me. So there's not anything mental or emotional in a human being that does not have societies of spirits that indulge and favor it. There is the clinching line. And you may be saying, I never hear spirits talking about that they like the stuff that I like to buy. Well, Swedenborg he was describing this overt nature of his experiences, but he says he deduces from them, this is going on with all of us. We just don't recognize it as spirits. We just recognize it as thoughts and feelings, but the same dynamic is at play in a more subdued way in every person. And the spirits may not be aware of us like they were aware of him, but there's still those forces acting on us. So Swedenborg started to have these experiences, realized how much the spiritual world was influencing this stuff that he liked to do every day, and he started to give labels to these different spirits. Now, spirits, that term in Swedenborg, that encompasses everybody who's ever been alive and died, everyone who's in the afterlife. This could be really good people that he calls angels. There are people in the middle that he calls spirits, or people who are still being processed, and even people who are bent on harm, which you would call evil spirits or devils or Satans. All of these fall under the broad category of spirits. And he would make all these subcategories of those, one of which is the spirits of bodily cravings, which are the ones we're going to learn about now. And these were the spirits that had an impact on him, that he felt in his desires. And he had a lot of very interesting desires pop up that were connected with spirits. For example, like we said in the beginning, things that you can potentially eat. He says there are various kinds of craving, not just the appetite for eating. A kind of craving causes us to desire numerous things, such as baths. So both spirits could influence his desire to eat and his desire for hygiene, to get and sit in the bath. But it goes on from there. He was saying that one spirit, and this is from SE 1564, one spirit longed so much for me to put on a certain suit that unless I did so, according to him, he could hardly live. And when I was dressed in it, he got such enjoyment from it that nothing could have been more enjoyable. And what would be more enjoyable than wearing that suit? I think that spirit speaks for all of us. Okay, it doesn't end there. He says, I was in a shop to buy cheese, and while I was buying, spirits poured into me a desire to buy this one or that one, to choose one above another, and to change my mind. So, spirits are in there like, not the mild cheddar, buy the Gouda. This matters to them, and they were affecting him. And because of the way his spiritual senses were opened, he was able to perceive it overtly rather than just as the to and fro in your own heart when you're like, should I get that cheese? No, I should get that cheese. No, I'll just get them both. No, I'll just get that one. So he goes on. this is the one we mentioned in the beginning. There, at a certain heavenly spirit was present, and I was stirred by a desire for butter. So that's a heavenly spirit. That's an angel. So that's a good spirit. It kicked up in him this desire for butter. You can tell as soon as you eat butter that it's a heavenly sort of thing. And then finally, to the negative side of things, there are evil spirits who even arouse that pleasure of sitting for a long time in toilets and staying there beyond the required time, for devils delight exceedingly in toilets. And those devils, so you're going to have an evil spirit wanting you to hang in a certain place. Those devils got a real boost when smartphones came out, right? Because that was like, you sit there longer than you need to because you got to finish reading your article. So that is the nature of the ubiquity of spiritual influence on the things Swedenborg found in his life.